Hello and welcome to Business Nigeria. Thank you for joining Tuesday's edition. These are the top stories we're tracking for you at this time. FG offers domestic dollar bond valued at $500 million for subscription. FG to begin sales of crude oil in Naira to local refineries in October. Asian shares hit 1 month high on bets for dovish Fed. On our show today, first we will examine Nigeria's National Petroleum Company Limited's 2023 audited financial statement as it records a net profit of 3.3 trillion naira, an increase of over 700 billion naira, 28% compared to the 2022 profit of 2.5 trillion naira, which is implication. What is the implication of this to the entire industry? And on the flip side of the show, we will look at the decline in inflation. This time around, we'll focus on the perspective of the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry and see what they've said about these figures. These and more will be our stories today. Let's get talking some news making headlines around the world of business. The federal government has offered FGN bonds valued at $500 million for subscription to interested investors. This is according to Debt Management Office, which says the 5-year domestic FGN dollar bond due in 2029 has an interest rate of 9.75% per annum. The opening date for the offer is August 19, while the closing date is August 30, and the settlement is September 6th. DMO says the bond is offered at $1,000 per unit, subject to a minimum subscription of $10,000 and multiples of $1,000 thereafter. It said the dollar-denominated FGN bonds will be listed on the Nigerian Exchange Limited and FMDQ OTC Securities Exchange Limited. The federal government, through the Debt Management Office, announced plans to issue the $500 million bond to boost dollar liquidity. The Minister of Finance, Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Mr. Wale Edun, said the dollar funding was critical for the exchange rate to stabilize. And moving on, the federal government said it will begin crude oil sales in Naira to Dangote Refinery and others by October. This is according to the Director of Press and Public Relations, Federal Ministry of Finance and Economic Planning, Mr. Mohammed Manga. And he said this at the inaugural meeting of the implementation of crude oil sales in Naira Committee to fast-track transactions, which was presided over by Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Mr. Wale Edun. The Director of Press said the meeting is a significant step towards ensuring the speedy realization of the presidential directive on crude oil sales in Naira to enhance Nigeria's economic growth and development. He emphasized the need for transparency and directed the technical subcommittee to finalize details as well as prepare a report for the president, confirming that his directives were on track for implementation from September. The Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited has declared a profit after tax of 3.3 trillion naira in the 2023 financial year. Declaring this in Abuja, the corporation's chairman, Mr. Pius Akinyelure, disclosed that the 3.3 trillion naira represents an increase of 749 billion naira compared to 2.54 trillion naira posted in the 2022 financial period. Helen Osamede Akins reports.
Its operations for the first time. From a loss of 803 billion naira in 2018, it reduced the loss further down to 1.7 billion naira in 2019. 2020, it posted its first ever profit of 287 billion naira and recovered a 674.1 billion naira profit. The profit grew to 2.548 billion naira in 2022. Today, it has declared the highest profit ever since the company's inception 46 years ago. The company also declared a dividend of 2.1 trillion naira to its shareholders.
Being the first fruit of the PIA, the commitment of the board, management and staff of the company.
The 2023 highlights. We had a 23.9 trillion naira revenue or turnover, which resulted in a gross profit of 7 trillion, net operating profit of 4.3 trillion, and profit before tax of 5.9.
All right, there now to talk more on this development and implications for the economy, the Chief Economist, Chief Executive Officer of Analytics Data Services Resources Limited, Ibano, Dr. Afolabi Olowokere. Thank you so much, Dr. Olowokere. It's good to see you.